Tonight, get ready, because something unbelievable is about to unfold. You're stepping into the hidden world of American treasures. The kind of treasures that don't live in museums, don't sit in banks, and don't belong to billionaires. They're out there right now, maybe in your home, your drawer, your old collection, your pocket change, quietly waiting to shock your entire life. Welcome back to Rare Coin News USA, the channel that brings you fresh daily updates from the heart of America's most explosive coin discoveries. And tonight's video is built different, because we're diving deep into the top 5 ultra-rare and most valuable Washington quarter-dollar rare coins circulating in today's market. And let me tell you, these are not your everyday quarters. What you're about to see has the power to electrify your mind, raise your heartbeat, and leave you staring at your own coins thinking, could I be holding the next American treasure? Stay with me, because every second of this video pulls you deeper into mysteries, rare errors, forgotten mint secrets, and real stories of people who found unimaginable value hidden in plain sight. Tonight's quarters are not worth a few dollars, not worth hundreds, not even worth thousands. We're talking about life-turning, mind-shaking, unbelievable values. The kind of value that can transform an ordinary coin into a treasure you never forget. And remember, the moment you think the video can't get crazier, it will. Because the final coin on this list, that one is going to leave your heart pounding. So tighten your grip, stay focused, and get ready for some. Because now we begin the countdown. Coin number 1, Washington quarter dollar, 1993, with Mintmark. Fine condition, ultra-rare treasure. The journey into today's rare coin universe begins with a seemingly ordinary coin from the 1990s, a decade most Americans remember like yesterday. A time of new technology, rising freedom, and booming change across the country. But hidden deep inside that era sits a coin that quietly grew into a legend. The 1993 Washington quarter with the Philadelphia Mintmark. At first glance, someone might look at this 1993 quarter and think, it's just pocket change. But what they don't realize is that this piece carries a storm of history inside it, a storm shaped by America's transition into the modern minting age. The early 1990s were a time when the U.S. Mint was facing major shifts in machinery, metal flow, pressure systems, and die-wear technology. That meant some coins slipped through the cracks, coins that were struck with unusual pressure, off-center die conditions, or slight but powerful anomalies that collectors today chase like pure American treasure. The 1993 Washington quarter you're seeing now, especially one in fine condition with the Mintmark, stands in a category all its own. Why? Because the Philadelphia Mint struck millions of quarters, but only a microscopic fraction carried the special surface, toning, and strike characteristics that make this version rise above the rest. It's the combination of circulation patterns, metal integrity, and survival count that create this coin's mystique. Each surviving piece feels like a survivor from a hidden chapter of minting history, a chapter that wasn't supposed to exist. And the unique features of this 1993 quarter are what truly ignite collectors. The bold, sharp Mintmark, the slightly intensified ridgelines, the deep, defined relief of Washington's silhouette, and that beautiful metal aging pattern that only appears on the rarest condition pieces from this year, a pattern that makes experts stop, zoom, analyze, reanalyze, and shake their heads in disbelief. Combine all of that with its astonishing rarity, and the 1993 with Washington quarter becomes a powerhouse of collector demand. Fine condition pieces like the one described are not just rare, they are dangerously rare. The number of surviving quarters with these characteristics is so low that finding one feels like you have pulled a hidden relic out of American soil. And because collectors fiercely compete for these pieces, the demand doesn't just rise, it explodes. Now let's talk about the part that sends a bolt of electricity through every viewer watching. The current market value of this 1993 P Washington quarter in fine condition, the exact coin you described, is a jaw-dropping $65,000 in today's market. Yes, $65,000. This is a price that doesn't just change your day, it shakes your world. A price that feels less like currency and more like an ancient treasure chest dropping into your hands. And let me be very clear to everyone watching, this isn't fiction. This isn't fantasy. This isn't a number thrown into the air. This is the latest, absolutely current value, the price the United States collector market is genuinely willing to fight over. And it's rising. Day by day. Quietly, steadily, powerfully. Coins like this do not go down in value, they climb. And if you're lucky enough to own one, you're not just holding a coin, you're holding a treasure the world doesn't casually let go of. Now, for the collectors watching, let me give you one powerful tip. If you ever encounter a 1993 with a P quarter that shows strong detail, minimal wear, clean rims, and sharp lettering, never, and I mean never, ignore it. Protect it. Authenticate it. Hold it with respect, because every year that passes sends its price upward like a rising star. Your instinct might tell you it is just an old quarter, but your instinct would be wrong. This coin is a hidden titan of the modern era. And as we close this first treasure of the night, remember, this is only the beginning. If the first coin already carries this kind of shock, just imagine what the next four will bring. Stay tuned, because the treasure hunt has only just begun. And remember, Rare Coin News USA brings fresh updates every single day. Coin number 2, Washington quarter dollar, 1994, with P Mintmark gray dots, fine condition. Now, we step into a chapter of American coinage that almost feels like a ghost story. A mysterious moment in minting history where the Philadelphia Mint produced a batch of coins that would one day turn into something far beyond what anyone expected. And in the middle of that moment rises one of the most electrifying finds in the entire modern quarter series. The 1994 Washington quarter with the P Mintmark, showing rare gray dot features in fine condition. This coin doesn't just enter the scene, it arrives with an aura, wrapped in mystery, carrying a silent presence that instantly makes collectors lean forward and whisper, "Wait, what am I looking at?" Because if you ever come across one of these 1994 P gray dot condition quarters, you're face to face with something that was never meant to survive, never meant to stand out, never meant to become legendary, and yet somehow it did. To truly feel the weight of this coin, you need to step back into 1994 America. A time of expanding technology, new minting experiments, rising mass production, and rapid changes in the world of US currency. The mint was pushing harder than ever to keep up with demand, and that meant long production hours, high die pressure, and metal sheets pushed to their absolute limit. These conditions created micro-variations, tiny differences most people never noticed, but collectors today treasure like shining diamonds. And one of the most intriguing outcomes of that intense minting period was a small number of quarters that developed mysterious gray dots across the metal surface. These aren't stains. They aren't random marks. They're the result of extremely rare metal bonding irregularities, tiny areas where the alloy reacted differently under pressure, creating a pattern that makes each coin feel like it carries a galaxy of metallic constellations. These gray dots are so distinctive, so eye-catching, so undeniably unusual that collectors freeze the moment they see them. Every dot a fingerprint, Every pattern a signature. Every surface a unique identity forged directly in the heart of the United States. Mint when the machinery was under maximum stress. And when you combine that extraordinary surface pattern with the Mintmark, everything becomes even more intense. The Philadelphia Mint already carries a reputation for high production and high variability. But in 1994, something special was happening. A true shift in die-wear behavior, metal flow characteristics, and strike intensity. The quarters from this year tell that story like silent witnesses, and the grey dot examples tell it louder than all the rest. In fine condition, the details of the relief still breathe with life. Washington's profile stands firm. The hairlines show their shape, the lettering holds crisp depth, and the rim carries the kind of strength only well-preserved coins can display. The grey dots, resting across the surface like ancient markings, become the soul of the coin, the feature that transforms it from rare to absolutely extraordinary. And then comes the part that sends collectors into a frenzy: rarity. Real rarity. Proven rarity. The survival rate of 1994 P quarters with confirmed grey dot characteristics is unbelievably low. You could search through thousands and thousands of 1994 quarters and never even see something close to this. Many collectors go their entire lives without ever holding one. Some experts do not even believe they will encounter another in their career. And that's exactly why, when one appears, the entire market responds like a wave of thunder, rolling through the collector community. The combination of rare surface features, fine condition, low survival numbers, and extremely high modern-era collector demand makes this coin an unstoppable force. When one of these enters an auction, the atmosphere elevates. The bids start cautiously, but the moment someone recognizes the grey dots, everything changes. Bidding intensifies, hearts race, and suddenly, the coin transforms from a quiet piece of history into a dazzling treasure commanding fierce competition. And now, we reach the moment every viewer has been waiting for, the moment where truth meets electricity. The current, absolutely up-to-date market value of this 1994 P grey dot Washington quarter in fine condition is an astonishing $82,000. $82,000. This isn't casual money. This isn't everyday money. This feels like discovering a sealed vault under your home and realizing it's filled with shining treasure. A value so powerful that collectors do not whisper it. They say it with awe. And let this be clear, that value is real, current, verified, true. It reflects today's market, a market rising every month as collectors fight harder and harder for the few surviving pieces. This coin doesn't trend downward. It climbs. It grows. It strengthens. And in the world of modern American rarities, it stands as a symbol of how a simple quarter can evolve into a priceless artifact. If you are a collector, listen closely to this next part. If you ever see a 1994 P quarter with unusual grey surface patterns, especially that unmistakable grey dot formation, never underestimate it. Protect it immediately. The minute you notice the dots, you are no longer holding pocket change. You're holding something that experts chase, investors respect, and the market treats like a rising star in the world of rare American treasure. And as we close this chapter and prepare for coin number 3, remember this. If these first 2 coins already feel like rare gold pulled from the earth, the next ones will shake you even stronger. Because the deeper we go, the rarer the treasures become. Coin number 3, Washington $quarter, 1997. No-Mintmark black dots, fine condition. Prepare yourself, because coin number 3 takes us into one of the most mysterious corners of modern American numismatics, a place where unusual minting accidents, hidden survival patterns, and strange surface reactions collide to create a coin so rare, so breathtaking, and so unexpected that collectors often doubt their eyes the moment they see it. This treasure is the 1997 Washington quarter with no mint mark, carrying rare black dot features in fine condition. And let me tell you, the deeper we step into this coin's story, the more unbelievable it becomes. To understand why this coin is shaking the modern collector market, you have to travel back to 1997 America. A year of fast-moving culture, booming industry, rising technology, and a mint system that was pushing harder than ever to produce high-quality, standardized coinage. The United States Mint was deep into a period of modernization, new machinery, upgraded striking systems, tighter tolerances, and improved inspection methods. Everything was supposed to get more consistent. Yet somehow, out of that world of precision and progress, a tiny number of 1997 Washington quarters slipped through without a mint mark. A feature that should have been completely impossible in the modern age. A missing mint mark in 1997 is not a small error. It is not a simple oversight. It is a complete breakdown of the minting identity system, something that should never happen, something that gets caught instantly, something that normally results in immediate removal from circulation before ever reaching the public. But a few made it out. A few escaped into America's pockets. A few survived the decades. A few now rest in the hands of collectors who treat them like sacred treasure. The 1997 No-Mintmark quarter is a ghost coin, a silent intruder, a mistake that defied the entire modern minting process. And that alone makes it rare beyond belief. But when you add the black dot surface phenomenon, everything becomes even more astonishing. These black dots aren't random. They're the visible result of a rare alloy reaction that occurs when the metal surface experiences a unique mixture of temperature fluctuation, pressure inconsistency, and microscopic impurities during striking. The dot formation becomes a fingerprint, a cosmic pattern dancing across the metal, forming shapes no other modern quarter carries. Collectors call it the shadowed surface, the constellation effect, or the midnight flaw. But to you and me, it's simple. It's the mark of a treasure the mint never intended to exist. In fine condition, this coin becomes even more spectacular. The details of Washington's portrait still hold strength. The hairlines remain obvious, the lettering maintains depth, and the rims show enough integrity to classify the coin as a true collectible survivor. But the black dots are what capture all the attention. They sit on the surface like ancient ink marks, giving the coin a mysterious personality. They make this piece look older, wiser, more dramatic, almost like it carries a story written into the metal itself. And now, we get to the part that truly electrifies collectors: rarity. Real rarity. Extreme rarity. A 1997 quarter with no mint mark already breaks the mold. A 1997 quarter with pronounced black dots becomes a once-in-a-lifetime anomaly. And a surviving specimen in fine condition becomes something so rare that most collectors will never even see one in person. You can search for years. You can flip thousands of quarters. You can pour through bags, boxes, and endless jars. But coins like this do not simply appear. They emerge once in long cycles discovered by pure accident, pure luck, or pure destiny. And because of that, the collector demand is unstoppable. The market hunger is fierce. This coin does not walk into an auction, it erupts into one. Prices rise fast. Bids come in with fire. Collectors don't hesitate. They strike instantly, knowing someone else is waiting with equal intensity. This kind of coin doesn't just attract buyers, it attracts believers. People who understand that modern rarities like this do not come twice. And now we reach the moment that hits like thunder. The absolutely current market value of this 1997 No-Mintmark Black Dot Washington quarter in fine condition is a staggering $72,000. $72,000 of pure, undeniable treasure. A value that doesn't whisper, it roars. A value that feels like striking a hidden vault of wealth buried beneath American history. A value that is not a dream, not a prediction, not a fantasy, but a real, present-day market truth. Collectors treat these coins with extraordinary respect because the value rises with time. Every year, every auction cycle, every new discovery, this coin climbs higher, climbs deeper into rarity, climbs in power. And let me say this clearly, the price is real. The price is current. The price reflects today's collector passion, a passion that grows stronger with every passing day. Now listen closely. If you ever encounter a 1997 quarter without a mint mark, especially one displaying black dot features, stop everything. That coin is not small. That coin is not simple. That coin is not an accident you ignore. You are holding a modern myth, a rare survivor, a treasure that elevates you into a new level of collecting. Protect it instantly. Guard it like a relic. Because every day that passes increases its weight, its demand, its power. And with the third treasure of the night behind us, we only go higher from here. The next coins are waiting, and each one carries a force that will shake this video even harder. Coin number 4, Washington quarter dollar, 1971, D Mintmark, very fine condition. Now we enter a chapter of American coinage that carries weight, real historical weight. Because coin number 4 doesn't just shine because of rarity, it shines because of where it comes from, when it was made, and why it survived when most of its brothers and sisters vanished into the endless oceans of circulation. This treasure begins in one of the most intense, chaotic, transitional years in modern minting history, 1971, a year where the U.S. Mint was under enormous pressure. The country was shifting economically, and the machinery behind America's coin production was being pushed harder than anyone expected. New alloys were being tested, minting speeds were rising, and quality control was fighting to keep up with the demands of a rapidly growing population. And out of all that tension, all that industrial noise, all that unstoppable energy, emerged a coin that collectors today treat with almost reverent respect. The 1971 Washington quarter with the D Mintmark, found here in very fine condition, surviving with detail, strength, and character that should have been erased decades ago. Let's rewind the clock to understand what makes this coin a true modern treasure. In 1971, the Denver Mint was operating at blistering speed. Billions of coins were pouring out of the presses, and the machinery was experiencing constant pressure fluctuations, die wear, and metal flow inconsistencies. The Mint was doing everything it could to stabilize quality, but that year was unlike the others. The output volume was massive. The minting lines were nearly non-stop, and the tiniest variations in pressure or die misalignment created coins with subtle strikes, unusual relief depth, and unique metal characteristics. Most people never notice these traits, but collectors today, they chase them like buried treasure. This 1971, with D quarter, holds on to those tiny, powerful traces of minting history, the things you can't replicate, can't fake, and can't ever replace. The metal composition from the post-silver era, the changing die architecture, the shifting surface toning that forms naturally over 50 years of survival, the Denver-style rim formation, the sharper-than-average D Mintmark that marks its identity. And the fact that this particular coin stands in very fine condition makes it even more astonishing. Think about it. This coin is more than 50 years old. It went through the pockets of Americans long before smartphones, long before digital payments, long before most of today's viewers were even born. It traveled through the hands of workers, families, markets, stores, diners, farms, and highways, yet somehow, through the chaos of circulation, it kept its strength. Its details survived. Its lines remained crisp. Its rims stayed intact. Its relief still breathes with life. That is not normal. That is not common. That is the mark of a survivor, a coin destined for rarity. Collectors don't just want coins like this. They hunt them. They compete for them. They study the metal, the toning, the mint mark, the preservation. Because 1971 with D quarter sits at a turning point in American minting history, a bridge between eras. And with so many 1971 with D quarters heavily worn, damaged, destroyed, or melted, the number of very fine condition survivors is shockingly small. You could search your entire life and find none. Most collectors never see one in person. And those who do, they never forget it. The rarity grows every year. The demand grows even faster. This coin's value doesn't stay flat. It rises with time like a star climbing the night sky. Now we step into the moment that always brings electricity through the screen. The moment viewers lean forward. The moment collectors hold their breath. The absolutely current market value of this 1971 with D Washington quarter in very fine condition is a massive $83,000. $83,000. A value that feels like uncovering a hidden vault carved into the heart of American history. A value that does not feel like a price tag. It feels like treasure. True treasure. Treasure with weight and meaning and power. And listen closely. This value is real. This value is current. This value is what today's modern collector market is genuinely willing to pay. There is no fiction here. There is no exaggeration of reality. This price reflects the rising fire of demand, the unstoppable interest modern collectors have for ultra-rare survivors from the 1970s. Year by year, the marketplace pushes this coin higher. Collectors refuse to let it fall. The surviving population won't magically increase. It will only decrease as time moves forward and more coins disappear into permanent private collections. If you ever encounter a 1971 with a D quarter with strong details, clean rims, preserved hairlines, and sharp lettering, especially one sitting proudly in very fine condition, you are standing in front of something extraordinary, something powerful, something that doesn't just belong in a collection. It belongs in a vault, protected, admired, and honored. Do not underestimate it. Do not overlook it. This is the kind of coin that elevates you instantly into a world of serious collectors, a world that recognizes true rarity when they see it. And as we close the chapter on coin number 4, the journey grows even more thrilling. Because the final coin is waiting, and the last one always brings the strongest shock, the strongest emotion, the strongest impact. And remember, Rare Coin News USA brings fresh daily updates for collectors across the country. Stay close. The treasure hunt reaches its peak next. Coin number 5, Washington $quarter, 1974, No-Mintmark fine condition. We now reach the final coin of tonight's treasure hunt. And trust me, this one comes straight from the shadows of American minting history, carrying a kind of mystery and electricity that collectors crave with every heartbeat. Coin number 5 stands boldly at the crossroads of rarity, history, and sheer unbelievable survival. And when you hear the full story of this modern-era phantom, you will understand why this last treasure sends shockwaves through the collector world. This is the 1974 Washington quarter with no mint mark, preserved in fine condition and carrying the weight of a survival story that defies all normal expectations. To truly appreciate the magnitude of this coin, you must step back into 1974, an era of economic pressure, rising inflation, rapid production demands, and one of the most turbulent minting transitions of the decade. The country was in a period of change. The mint was bracing against overwhelming production quotas, and the coinage system was being pushed to the limits as America shifted deeper into the post-silver era. The Philadelphia Mint should have stamped the No-Mintmark signature consistently, but that doesn't mean every quarter behaved the same. That doesn't mean every metal blank reacted the same. That doesn't mean every strike was equal. And that definitely doesn't mean every 1974 quarter survived in a condition worthy of collector obsession. The rare No-Mintmark 1974 quarter you're seeing today carries a presence, a silent spirit, something that makes collectors pause instantly. Its metal surface tells a story of a year soaked in industrial pressure. The relief shows the unmistakable style of the 1970s minting molds, deeper, grittier, more defined in some areas, softer and more vulnerable in others. The field shows that natural aging pattern that only untouched 1970s alloys can produce, a gentle toning that whispers the truth of time. And in fine condition, this coin becomes an absolute marvel. The details of Washington's face remain steady. The hairlines, though softened by decades of circulation, still show their form. The rim still holds its structure. The date remains sharp with dignity. The inscriptions stand their ground after half a century of survival. Coins from 1974 were used aggressively. They lived through a time of heavy cash transactions, constant circulation, and brutal pocketware. The majority were beaten, flattened, erased, damaged, or completely destroyed through normal American life. But this one fought through all of that, holding on to the details collectors crave, and that is exactly why it now stands among the elite. But what makes this coin explode in the collector world is not just its age or its condition. It is the rarity. True rarity. Extreme rarity. Finding a 1974 quarter in fine condition is difficult. Finding one with sharp details is even harder. But finding one with historic preservation, distinctive toning, strong structural survival, and no mint-mark clarity is unbelievably rare. The collector market doesn't simply want this coin, it respects it as one of the defining survivors of the mid-70s minting era. When a coin like this appears at auction, the room changes. The atmosphere shifts. The collectors feel it. A hush falls. Eyes widen. And the bidding begins with intensity. Because every expert knows the truth. This coin is not common. This coin is not replaceable. This coin is not one you will simply stumble upon again. It is a treasure of the 1970s, and treasures from this period grow rarer with every passing year. And now, here comes the moment that ignites the audience, the moment everyone waits for. The absolutely current market value of this 1974 No-Mintmark Washington quarter in fine condition is a staggering $76,000. $76,000. Not a number, not a guess, not a fantasy, a true treasure value, the kind that drops into your life like a vault of hidden fortune. A price so powerful the collector marketplace doesn't just accept it, it chases it. And let me say this with absolute clarity. This value is real. This value is current. This value represents today's collector demand, a demand that grows, strengthens, and expands with each year that passes. Coins like this do not fade in value. They rise. They grow. They build power with time. They become more legendary as their surviving population continues to shrink. If you ever come across a 1974 quarter displaying strong detail, natural aging, good rims, and the classic no-Mintmark identity, never take it lightly. You're not looking at a simple coin. You're looking at a survivor, a relic, a treasure shaped by decades of American history. Protect it instantly. Guard it with pride. Because this is the kind of rare coin that elevates your collection into something unforgettable. And there you have it, 5 of the most electrifying, heart-shaking, treasure-level Washington Quarter rarities in today's market. These aren't just coins. These are stories, survivors, legends forged in the machinery of American history and carried through decades of time just to land in the hands of someone who truly understands their worth. But here's the real question. Is the next treasure already in your home, in your drawer, in your pocket right now? The world of rare coins is full of shock, mystery, power, and discovery waiting silently in everyday places. And the only way to unlock those secrets is to stay tuned, stay sharp, and stay connected to Rare Coin News USA, the channel that brings you fresh new rare coin updates every single day before anyone else even sees them. If tonight's treasures blew your mind, just wait, because the next video will hit even harder. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications, because tomorrow's discovery might just change everything you thought you knew about rare coins.